Baja, Las Vegas police. Open up.
Looks like he's not here. Guess we'll have to execute the warrant without him. Score 1 for the lockpick gun. Always cleaner than breaking out the battering ram.
Looks like an empty financial or legal portfolio with the spa's logo on it. Those records we found in the Vic's oven are just the kind you'd keep in a binder like this. Look at that. The hard disk isn't screwed in. It might just be new, but the Vic's PC was missing a hard drive. We can figure it out back at the lab. Vegan blueberry muffins. They look almost edible and flammable. These tax forms claim that Superla Spa was highly profitable. That looks just like the tool we got from Reed. It's a pretty full print. Good clarity on the sample, too. These shears are made for cutting pipes, and we have a severed gas line to account for. You can tell a lot about a person from the kind of shoes they wear. You can tell a lot more if you forensically examine their shoes. I wonder why they need so much acetone. Place is a little too masculine for manicures. That could tell us who handled this tool. I would expect that to be Pete Baja's fingerprint, since we found the ledger in his office. We can't just pick that up. Looks like some kind of dried mud. just where someone would hold a shoe when putting it on. What's this? Trend Micro Internet Security Pro has detected a virus. Repair. Looks like someone's been practicing unsafe surfing. Okay, let's see what Pete has on this hard drive. Cat pictures, puzzle games, and Portia Weissman's monthly household budget. Looks like we found the drive that was missing from the computer in the loft. It wasn't Baja's fingerprint, but why would he have a ledger with Portia's prints on it? Pete Baja's prints are on the toolbox in his office, which is not exactly a surprise, but it does suggest that the contents are his. Based on the placement of Baja's fingerprint, those have got to be his shoes. Portia Weissman used this tool. It might be the one Brian Reed told us she was keeping at the spa.
To examine this item more closely, you need to find the correct combination of magnification, focus setting, and position. The magnification control switches between the three magnification settings. The focus slider adjusts how blurry the image appears. You will receive positive feedback automatically when the correct settings are selected. You now have two items side by side in the scope. As when looking at a single item, you must combine magnification level, focus, and position to locate the informative part of the evidence. You must do this for both items. As with a single item, you'll have a match when the correct settings are found.
Look at how the imperfections on the blade match up to the markings on the gas line. These shears were used to cut that gas line. Each side of the tool matches one of the distinct shapes ventilating the spa's drywall. Brian Reed's Denver tool is just as likely to have been used to help spread the fire as the tool we recovered from the barber shop. The tool from the barbershop could have been used to break into Portia's apartment. Portia kept her Denver tool at the spa, right where Pete Baja could have easily taken it. It's a match. The hair placed Baja in Portia's apartment, but the footprint puts him there sometime after visiting the spa. It's a vegan blueberry muffin, just like it said on the package. Factor out the carbon, and the muffin that helped ignite the fire is identical to the ones we found in Baja's office.
You've added a second chemical sample. Does it contain the same pattern of thick and thin lines as the original? If so, then select Confirm Match. Otherwise, the back button will remove the second sample and let you try another comparison.
More volcanic minerals and acetone. The shoes tie Pete Baja to the spot just prior to the explosion. Almost pure acetone. No fragrances, no dye. Very few impurities at all. I think we may have enough to nail Baja for starting the fire. His shoes put him in the spa sometime after the acetone was dumped. He'd picked up quantities of both the accelerant and the spa mud. Okay, I think I have a pretty clear picture of what happened. Baja was laundering money, and when Portia confronted him about it, he panicked. Then he decided to rig the spa to explode. Portia probably showed up after Pete was gone. Doc Robbins said she had marijuana in her system, so she might not have noticed the acetone. While she was there burning to death, Baja was at her apartment looking for the record she was keeping. With what we have now, an arrest warrant won't be a problem. Let's go talk to Brass.
Good, you're all here.
What's going on, Captain Brass? What's so sensitive you couldn't discuss it over the phone?
We have a visitor. Miss Beatriz Salazar.
You serious? She's here?
The Queen of the Hive herself just walked in and asked to talk to the CSIs in charge of the Pedro Baja case.
Do you mind if I sit in on this one, Captain Brass?
Be my guest, you can even take my seat. I'll hang back and watch from the viewing room.
Hello, Ms. Salazar. My name is Special Agent...
Gene Huntby. I know who you are. But these two, I am unfamiliar with. I shall presume you are the ones persecuting my poor, clumsy Pedrocito.
We're not persecuting anyone. The evidence speaks for itself, ma'am. Usually when someone wants to talk to us in this room, they want to confess. So, is there something you'd like to get off your chest, Ms. Salazar?
You think you're very clever, don't you? Perhaps I know you better than I thought, but I'm here for Pedro. He is family.
Family, huh? You know, I might actually be moved by that if you weren't still the primary suspect in the execution murder of your first husband.
My husband's murderer remains at large, Agent Huntby. Pedro is from Ayapa, my village in Mexico. He graduated from the school I built for them and prayed in the church I gave them. Pedro's family, all 3 of his sisters, they live in the house I provide. So as you can see, I have a significant investment in the future and well-being of this young man.
Sorry about your investment, but like I said, the evidence speaks for itself. And it never lies.
What precisely is this evidence saying to you?
We're not at liberty to discuss the specifics of an ongoing investigation.
Very well, I understand. My heart breaks for Pedro. He always tried so very hard to please me. Sometimes a man is called upon to be more than he has been in the past. Sometimes he fails.
Operations the size of this one, they tend to run right under the radar, making them perfect little laundromats for hundreds of thousands of dollars of your petty cash.
And remind me again, Agent Huntby, why I should need to launder money when I too am a very successful, multinational, legitimate businesswoman? My Pedro was a legitimate small businessman.
Superla Spa wasn't doing nearly as much business as he was reporting.
Oh dear. First you zero in on poor Pedro, and now it sounds like you're investigating me. Shall I get my lawyer? Shall I go?
We don't need to go there right now.
A woman is dead because Pete Baja was trying to clean up a mess. Do you think it was his own? Or yours?
I think if this evidence is speaking to you, miss, then something must be lost in the translation. Regardless of whatever mess there was, Pedro is incapable of violence.
Pedrocito got in over his head, didn't he, B?
That's Miss Salazar to you, Agent Huntby. I do not believe courtesy is too much to ask from an agent of the FBI. But then again, why should I expect anything else from a man who is so clearly prepared to scapegoat a young man like my Pedro? Pedro is not a murderer.
Aren't you afraid you'll leave some trace of yourself behind? A hair or flake of skin? Something with your DNA that we might be able to use against you.
Wouldn't want to make your job more difficult than it has to be. I believe I have made myself very clear to you. I shall not waste any more of your time. Muchas gracias.
What the hell was all that about? I mean, what'd she think she was going to accomplish?
Hey, about that arrest warrant for Baja. Nevada Highway Patrol was able to track him down. The bad news is, he's dead. I need you to meet me at the barbershop. See you there.
Two police officers came by to serve that arrest warrant again. They found him like this. Called it in.
Is that a video camera?
It's aimed right at him.
My name is Pedro Baja. I'm an embezzler and a murderer. I set fire to the Superla Spa in order to cover up the fact that, for some time now, I have been fraudulently reporting its earnings. I poured acetone all over, cut the gas line, and left a muffin to burn in the toaster oven. I wasn't going to do the drywall, but that tool was there, and I was nervous. I swear to God, the place was empty when I rigged it to go up. I didn't know. How could I know that Portia would come by in the middle of the night? I even went to her apartment to talk her into giving me the records she told me about. When she wasn't there, I broke in. It was made crystal clear to me that I needed to get the records. But I never found them. I know it's small comfort, but I apologize to her family and to anyone close to her. I'm so sorry for taking her away. Sometimes a man is called upon to be more than he has been in the past. Sometimes he fails. Please, tell my sisters this. I made a deal with the devil to keep you safe, to give you a better life. I beg you to remember me if you are ever tempted to make a deal of your own. So it's come to this. Goodbye.
So all the forensic evidence supports what Pete Baja confessed to on the video?
Yes, it does. But Pete Baja's confession wasn't for us, was it?
Neither was his suicide. I think he was trying to make amends.
To his queen.
Well, this case may not have resolved itself the way Agent Huntby had hoped. Now he'll have to find another way to trap Salazar. But regardless, you guys did some very good work on this one.
Speaking of good work, I'm glad you didn't have to arrest Brian Reed. I was reviewing his service record, and despite the disciplinary actions, he was a very brave firefighter. Won a Medal of Valor for saving a gymnasium full of high school kids. It's a shame what happened to him. He certainly deserves a second chance.
You know what? I think the deputy fire chief just might owe me a favor.